idea.
Let him sit down.
In an already unprecedented campaign, another unpredictable turn this morning. President Biden and former President Trump agreeing to 2 one-on-one debates, ending months of uncertainty about whether they'd face off at all. President Biden on Wednesday delivering this surprise offer to debate twice.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal.
The president even taunting Mr. Trump, who's been stuck in court 4 days a week.
So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Mr. Trump, who refused to take part in a single Republican primary debate, quickly signing on and pushing for more.
I think there should be more than 2, and I think they should be in large venues. It's just more exciting.
The first matchup, with no studio audience, set to take place June 27th, the earliest in modern history. That's just a few weeks before the Republican convention, and likely shortly after Mr. Trump's hush money trial has wrapped up. The second debate slated for September 10th, before early voting begins. The Biden campaign has requested a number of parameters, including that the candidates' microphones be cut off when it's not their time to speak. All of it comes after months of public pressure from the former president, even bringing out an empty lectern on the trail.
That's for Joe Biden. I'm trying to get him to debate.
Their agreement bypasses the Commission on Presidential Debates that's organized every matchup for more than 3 decades.
Folks, do you have any idea what this clown's doing?
Most Americans hope the rematch isn't a replay of their first debate in 2020 that turned ugly.
The radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen,
Meanwhile, Senator Mitt Romney, a fierce Trump critic, says President Biden should have pressured federal prosecutors not to indict the former president, and for the good of the country, should have pardoned him.
Had I been President Biden, when the Justice Department brought out indictments, I would have immediately pardoned him, because it makes me, President Biden, the big guy, and the person I pardoned, the little guy.
All right, lots to unpack here. Peter is with us now, Laura Jarrett, because we have a talk about the trial, which resumes today. But the debate, I mean, both sides seem to be really anxious for the other guy to be there, because they want them to, the Trump people think they're going to get an advantage when everyone sees President Biden. Yeah. And the Biden people think everyone's going to have an advantage when they see President Trump.
You're right. And in my conversations, both sides are framing this, I think, as an opportunity, right? As you note, Mr. Trump's folks, they view this as an opportunity to try to expose, and as they view it, Joe Biden's vulnerabilities, his age, his physical stamina. For the Biden folks, they say this is a perfect opportunity for them to help sort of crystallize this race right now, in effect, to show Americans that this is the choice. These are the 2 men, one of whom is going to be the next president of the United States. So in their eyes, this thing is binary here. But to be very clear, they are both tossing tradition aside here. They are getting rid of those traditional political norms by not going through the traditional debate commission that has done this thing dating back to 1988. And another key factor not to miss, Savannah, is the fact that neither of them wanted RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., to be on that stage right now. Under these circumstances, it appears that that would be the case. But for those people who support RFK Jr. or who don't like either of these men, it may backfire, right? Because they may say, hey, I'm just going to stick it to both of them and vote for RFK Jr. instead.
Okay, so let's turn to Laura. We've got the trial resuming today, Michael Cohen on the stand, and the cross-examination. We got a flavor of it on Tuesday, but it's going to kick into high gear today.
Yeah, we would expect it will go all day today, and they're going to dig into all the admitted lies, his lies to Congress under oath. I expect will take up a lot of the day. But at some point, we have to get back to the alleged crime. I think at some point they have to zero in on what Michael Cohen said on the stand a couple days ago about the actual charges, the falsification of business records. It's a dry charge compared to some of the scandal in this case, but they have to dig at that, or else the jury is going to be left with the impression that the former president ordered all this, even though there's no evidence that he actually went in the computer system and typed legal retainer, and that was all fraudulent. So they're going to have to flesh all this out.
I mean, both sides kind of keep their eye on the ball here with what the actual charges are. The case is starting to wind down. The prosecution says Michael Cohen's their last witness in their case in chief. What are we expecting from the defense, if anything?
They may not put on a defense at all. They may say, you know what, it signals more to say we're not going to call any witnesses and we're just going to go straight to closing arguments.
All right, we shall see. Laura, Peter, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.